This is Sprint 4, so quickly to address the stuff from last time, yeah, game end is for the user to define along with game start and load all resources, which are located here. I don't know if they should go in user code, but that's where they are for now. Secondly, the scene is now has everything private except for the big four, which cause errors if they're private, and the new camera manager stuff, which is here. Speaking of big four, I'm not sure. There are a few, yes, such as scene, scene broker, and game object, which did not have the big four. For the most part, my classes now have the big four. If you see any more that I might have missed, yeah, just leave a comment and point them out to me. But I'm doing it for the most part, so yeah. Anyway, camera manager. So if we go over to the camera manager, we can see that is now a not singleton thing. We have a God cam, which is a work in progress. It's almost done, kind of, not really. We have a God manager, which is a game object, which just basically asks for key inputs from the user so that we can rotate and edit the camera as we want. It's also local to the camera manager. Moving on to the multiple alarms, we have struct. We have an array of the struct, and whenever we get the thing, we just check which ID we have and then call the corresponding alarm. Otherwise, not much has really changed. Yeah, so we just made it so that we can have multiple of those. Fairly straightforward. Inputable. Again, we have a struct, but this time we have a map for the key and the event. Because, you know, you might want the key press and the key release. You don't know that stuff. We just check to see if the map exists. If it doesn't, we create a new struct. Otherwise, we just use the existing struct. And that goes for most of this stuff. Otherwise, fairly straightforward command pattern stuff that we've done before. If we go over to game object, we have all the scene entry, disconnect from scene, all that fun stuff. It's not too complicated, fairly straightforward command stuff again. We have a new attorney for the commands to use as well. So finally, we have the time manager up here, which just gets the current time, edits its values, and then it has some get functions for people to use. If we go over to the Draconis.cpp, we can see it's called directly from the engine, not through the scene manager. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, down here, we have our little quote-unquote game. We have a bullet factory and we have a bots, which is, well, you'll see. So moving into the game, let's look at the output for a second. We have alarm 0 going off, alarm 2, which deregisters alarm 1, and then alarm 0 goes off again. What you saw at the beginning was the GodCam bug. For some reason, it shows a blue screen until I press a input button for some reason. We have our ship, we have our little bot, which isn't really a bot, it just moves back and forth on a timer. And we can fire bullets. So we can see down here we're creating new bullet, and then they exit the scene, so that's pretty neat. They're also set up so that when I press A, it attempts to exit the scene twice, but if we do 1, and then you can see scene exit is only called once. So that prevents multiple calls for the same object to be killed multiple times. For the GodCam, we can move left, right, up, down, but rotation is where things get really interesting. So to close off this video, I'm going to leave you with a fun spinning camera.